This is the kind of building that one finds in royal complexes. The very earliest generation of royal complexes founded in the Anglo Saxon kingdoms. We don't quite know what these very high readings relate to. They could be major reinforced doorposts.
We take our heights above sea level, or our datum level, for a benchmark which is on the pub. That's a mark that's been calculated by the Ordnance Survey, and we can measure from that using a system called traversing, using either a dumpy level or an electronic total station or electronic distance meter. And we set up a benchmark on our site, which we call a temporary benchmark, and we can take all of our readings off there.
It would be fantastic if you had like one of those Yevering sections through the wall trenches of the hall with all the recuts.
We want better.
A brilliant sequence of archaeology, Anglo Saxon archaeology, spanning from as early as the 6th century AD through into the 7th, when this area was replanned and rebuilt as a major complex of monumental timber halls. What's unusual about this building, however, is the depth and size of the pits which would have held the door timbers, and we have the impression of each of the door timbers surviving very nicely for us.
This is a Saxon silver penny. From what we know, they're really quite rare. There's only about 7 in the country.
Vast quantity of paperwork that gets generated on a site like this. So my job is to check through all the paperwork that gets created and make sure that it's all up to scratch and recorded properly.
Well, we found a sturgeon scoot. They run along the back and down the sides of the sturgeon, and sturgeon are quite large. They can grow up to 18 feet in length. What we know so far is that in the late Saxon period, they're recorded as royal fish along with whales and porpoises. Very high status, property of the king.
If last year's was a major place of assembly, which it probably was from its scale, then how is this ancillary building used? Is it where food was prepared? Is it perhaps sleeping quarters? There are a number of possibilities, and we would hope to find clues in the artefacts that are distributed in and around it. So the careful plotting and recording of those artefacts is going to be of key importance as well. So I'm incredibly happy. I think, you know, we've got a multitude of archaeology in this year's trench, and it's really going to help us flesh out the picture of what this Anglo-Saxon royal complex looked like. So it's very exciting.